You know the man.
President Trump.
That's him, yeah. Listen, he's got what's wrong with you. And if you could just talk to him, get with him, then everybody could be.
Yeah. Everybody could be what?
Everyone. Well, everybody could be normal again.
I see. You mean we could be as we were before?
Yeah, I guess so. The way we were.
The way we were. And that's what we want. Is that why you sent me?
He didn't send me.
Silence! Oh yes. He sent you to offer us something from his world, to change the creatures we were. A trick to weaken our resolve.
I was almost like you, but he saved me. He brought me back. And he wants us all to go away from here.
You have been damned. Don't you see that? Don't you? Prepare the family.
Play. I can come down and start kissing everybody. I'll kiss every guy, man and woman. Look at that guy, how handsome. I'll kiss him. Not with enjoyment, but that's okay.
And corn pop,
you are discarded. You are the refuse of the past.
I'm gonna wrap chain around your head.
Full of crap.
I got hairy legs.
How hard it is to admit the truth.
So I learned about roaches.
Take him to the little room light. They should have stayed clear of the light.
So don't mess with me.
I know exactly where your body is. What I'm looking for is some indication of a brain.
I've now been in 57 states.
It's just wasting time.
You ought to be ashamed of supremacy for years, but you always do. You always start off with a kid. You didn't ask Joe Biden whether or not he denounces Antifa. I watched him on the same basic show with Mr. Holt, and he was asking questions like Biden was a child. I didn't.
It's called presidential harassment. The president of your country is doing a great job.
People can confuse the white supremacy question. I denounce white supremacy. And frankly, you want to know something? I denounce Antifa, and I denounce these people on the left that are burning down our cities that are run by Democrats who don't.
I don't want to talk to you about this again, you nod.
Hey, don't take that poison. That's one ounce.
If I were the man I was 5 years ago, I'd take a flamethrower to this place.
Now that I got your attention, we shall proceed class.
All right, brother. There we are. Oops, the overlay. There we go. Well. Hello, brother. Hello.
That was awesome, but I got the reverb again, so you might want to check on that.
Yeah, no, that was an oldie. We're probably gonna get flagged for it. I'm sure there's something on there that they didn't like.
I thought it was a new one. You had all the Biden stuff in there. It was awesome.
That was a new one in the sense that it was within the last 6 years.
Oh, okay.
Last 6 years. It wasn't the oldies. That's for sure. But yeah, it was a good one. A lot of. I think there was also some bad cuts on there too, but no, it was good. Anyway, so here we are, brother. This is our Thanksgiving special show, right? I mean, I'm in my new office. This is my third or fourth iterations of an office.
Wow, cool, brother.
Yeah, I got I got to work out this mess back here with the wires. That's got to be cleaned up. But hey. I just got here 24 hours ago, so we're doing pretty good for 24 hours.
And it's only temporary until the Luigi F. Baldini honorary range is and hut is put in, and porch is put in. Studio. Right.
Honorary studio. Luigi
which you're looking
honorary studio.
Which you're looking to build this year, I guess, right? Next year.
Within the next 12 months.
Yeah. Right.
we have a time plane of time zone of 12 months for that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So congratulations there, brother. So what are we doing today?
So we have on file
Namaste. Holy Spirit, namaste.
Yes. God bless. So tonight I have a gift for you. I know that wasn't it, the video, but we have a gift for you. It was a little long, I would say that. So we have that, and then we're going to do the Snowflake Maga, which you're going to do an explanation for us. Then we're going to move on to the Seditious Six. Then Epstein. Yeah, then we got Mickey Sherrill, the soon-to-be ex-elect governor.
No, it's the governor-elect X.
Governor-elect X, yeah.
Or the
That's our projection.
Governor-elect, right?
Yeah, that's our projection.
Are you going to play that? Are you going to play her?
I'm going to try. I'll tell you what. I'm going to try not to go ho 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 throughout the night.
Okay. No hoes. Ho free zone.
Ho free
we'll see if we play that. Okay. Yeah. So you go do your gift. But wait,
right, so
before you start, remember you were reverbing before.
Yeah, I can't control it. I think
okay.
I think I'm just gonna have to roll with the punch.
Okay. All right.
Let's see. John, this is for you. Let's see if I can put this. There we go. Let's put this down here.
You know what this reminds me of is I wish that there could be like a huge national sound system. And we would all wake up and they'd say, attention, attention, we have found the problem and we have solved it. He is gone.
Now, John, this is an ode to last week's show. Because if you remember when you would wake up in the book that you were talking about,
yes.
they would have pronouncements.
1984,
yes.
Big Brother. Yes. She wishes
Brother.
for the days of Big Brother.
Yes.
Hillary Clinton is Satan on high heels or low loafers today. Yes.
Subconsciously, she just, what is it? She unknowingly
projecting her 1984 wish, right?
Yes.
And you know, truth be told, you can proof of God's existence is that she's never been the president.
She's never been the president. Yeah,
right. That he raised up literally from the stones one Donald J. Trump.
but you know, like, what is she actually wishing for? Because she's wishing for the end of Trump. She's wishing that he would be gone. Now, what does that mean?
We have a new phrase for that. Well, you want to introduce a new phrase?
Go ahead. I'll let you. I'm not sure
Trump
which phrase we're talking
derangement, right? It's a tertiary disease.
Yes.
It's a tertiary form of the disease. Trump's derangement syndrome is this the secondary form of it, but the tertiary fatal form is Trump derangement retardation. Right?
Yes, and I want to make clear that when we talk about that, for me, what I'm trying to say is what the original word retardation actually is from, which means to slow down, the actual inevitable slowing down of the brain.
The ceasing of the brain activity. The ceasing of all thought. Dangerously so.
They're just being fed the information that they're regurgitating.
They refuse to think. They refuse to think at all. And it's a reckless condition that can wind up that do not operate heavy machinery with.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you cannot do, and it's meant to really be an interpretation of somebody's ability to cognitively work their way through problems.
We probably should have these people. We should declare a pandemic. We should have these people, wearing masks. We should have so they don't spread their infection any further. We should have them standing only 6 feet away from everybody, isolated, and then treat it for their psychological diseases that they have. Because it's always
form.
We're talking about it again. Russia. Ukraine. Impeachment. Mueller. Jack Smith, and Epstein. And now we have.
I think that we can really just
dictator.
We have to also make clear the methodology of how you become infected by this disease, because this is a disease, right? The infection comes from watching far left media, reading far left media, New York Times. We're talking.
This week this week, Maureen Dowd, boys that rose off of that one, had a whole article about how Trump is coursing the discourse, and it's no longer any honor from a twit representing a hack magazine that's covered up, that should have been banned. It should have been, if there's any justice, it would have been thrown out as as birdcage material long ago. That covered up the Nazi Holocaust, that covered up the gulags in Russia,
praised Hitler.
The praise Hitler, praise Hitler. They covered up the fact that Castro and helped Castro turn Cuba into a soulless, degenerate hellhole for the last 60 years, and then put forward the Russia hoax that got Pulitzer Prize for the Russia hoax, and it's Trump's fault.
Let's not forget, John, they carried the heavy water for the communists in Soviet Russia too. They were very much
covered up the Holodomor and the murdering of all the Ukrainians. So but he's the one that's coursing that. And it's the real truth is, since they took away in the same famous cases, New York Times versus Sullivan, the right to sue newspapers, and they hide them behind the First Amendment, which they shouldn't be. If you slanders, why do they get a special protection? Everybody, I don't get it. You don't get it. If you slander somebody, you should be holding court, which is what Trump's doing. It divorces them from the truth. It's been able to divorce them from the truth and from the actual participants in the American in American media and us. So since they've been able to hide behind that, they've gone 10 times worse. But it's all Trump's fault. Again, Trump,
that's the infection,
derangement, retardation.
That's the infection, brother. That's the infection.
They spent 10 years calling Trump everything from a Russian stooge to now a dictator and a wannabe king, and it's Trump who's degrading the discourse.
Though. It goes beyond the name calling, because
liar, pants on fire.
They tried to break the Constitution. They actually tried to break the Constitution with their, twice impeaching him and then going after him civilly, criminally, trying to get him locked up.
Think of what they did. 97 fake felonies. 97. Raiding his wife's underwear drawer and his son's underwear drawer. What kind of perverts did that, right? Well, a teenage son. Who's the perverts? Fake FBI, fake DOJ, fake Jack Smith. They're getting away with this. And still not been held accountable. But
they're not going to be held accountable.
Well, they better be. But this is the new terminology we have is the Trump derangement retardation is fatal because it's at some point it's like rabies. It's like rabies. It creates holes in the brain. It creates huge holes in the brain where they cannot think. Like a teenage kid, they have these huge holes in their brain.
All kidding aside, though, because we are making light of the incredibly misguided and troubling trend that has been going on. All kidding aside, the media spends $1 billion a day to attack him, and the Democrats are getting $1 billion a day gift to go after him and every Republican out there and the Republican ideals. It's not a surprise to me, John, that we have so many people, so many young people who want to become, who think socialism is such a great idea, and they hate Trump. And I get it. It's because between what they're being taught in many schools and what they're being fed on the internet, it's hard for them not to be overwhelmed by it. And Hillary's just a little short of actual reality, because as it is today, if you look at the media, you do have that horn.
You still have the big screen TV. You still have Big Brother watching you.
Big Brother's doing everything. They get you to say and believe in everything. They 4 years of Joe Biden, the FBI was getting Facebook to monitor you. They were using Twitter to go after you. I mean, they're already doing it. She's late. She's late to the game. She's late to the game. It's already happening. So, Yeah.
So that's our. So now should we move on to Snowflake MAGA?
Snowflake MAGA. What would you define? Can you give me an example of who might be Snowflake MAGA, brother?
MJT.
Why would you say something like that, brother?
Well,
I mean, look, I know a lot of people out there who would disagree with you.
It would be like this: bring. Yes, Marjorie, I'm over here in China. I'm trying to stop World War III. What is it now? Click. That's it. I just can't. Bring. Yes, Marjorie, I'm over here talking to Putin, trying to stop World War III. What is it now? Cling. Enough, right? Enough. No, it's part of that too.
He doesn't seem to have a problem with her, though, John.
Now he's back. Now she's going to run. She's going to try and divide. I mean, it's like you got to. It's all about. It's like that famous joke. Like the Eagles are win the Super Bowl, last one, and my friend's wife said, I know the Eagles are winning the Super Bowl, first time ever, and that's all well and good and stuff. But how do I make this about me? Right. She thinks MAGA is about her now. But she's not really the snowflake. She's a snowflake, pretend MAGA. But the snowflake MAGA is really a thing that you're going to see. And we want to prepare you for when you go to Thanksgiving, and you're going to have to deal with the Trump derangement syndrome, right? And retardation, those people. But worse than that is the people it's like George Bush was told by Maggie Thatcher, don't get wobbly, George, don't get wobbly, right? right in the middle of fighting the Cold War, George Bush got a little wobbly, and Maggie, the great Maggie Thatcher, had to call him once, said, don't get wobbly, suck it up, little snowflake,
you got very wobbly.
Suck it up. Right.
You got very wobbly because you allowed the Chinese to get it.
Right. But suck it up. So what you're seeing then is a hard pressed court press to demobilize and to depress MAGA. Right. You're seeing all these fake polls go out there now. Like, why is anybody listening to these idiot polls? We should be knowing. They've been wrong again and again and again. Unless you believe that 81 million people voted for Joe Biden, right. And then you're down the hole in the brain with
John,
Trump derangement.
I'm going to double down on that. Or unless you believe that Jack Ciattarelli, who got more votes than he did in 2021, still lost by 500,000 votes to Mickey Sherrill, superstar.
So Mikey, so I mean, it is. Trump says we should be focusing on these elections. We should be fixing these elections. These elections, as Schumer would say, right? But so you're going to see, and it's our people that are buying into this. Listen. Why are you listening to the idiot media? They're liars. Don't listen to them. Listen, the gas prices are coming down. The egg prices. What happened to the egg prices? Right, all the food prices are down now. Right, the jobs are coming back. You could drive by the Philadelphia Navy Yard, and for the first time ever, at night the lights are on. Why? Because they're building 5 ships down in the Philadelphia Navy Yard. It's absolutely amazing. And 1 nuclear submarine. The Koreans are coming over. They're going to start a new process with it's why Trump needs the H-1B visas. It's because there's metal manufacturing has moved on. Metal ship manufacturing has moved on. The Koreans are using a Walmart on time type thing, not having all the steel sit and rust in this particular place. They have a new method. And they're going to be doing that in Philadelphia, on the Philadelphia Navy Yard, starting that up. And then the experts are coming down from Maine to build this nuclear submarine in Philadelphia, in the Philadelphia Navy Yard. It's absolutely amazing, right? It's a dream come true. It really is amazing. So energy prices are coming down, but the problem is you just had 4 years of that nut job. It wasn't the auto pen in charge. But of destroying America, it's going to take a little while to turn that ship around, pal. So you're a little wobbly. So those nuts did everything they can to destroy the American economy. And one of the things they did was they got rid of all the refineries. So prices So oil prices haven't dropped as fast because we don't have the refining capacity anymore. But that stuff's coming in. I just saw the great James Tour. He's this great chemist, amazing chemist. I'm familiar with him because of the war against atheists, and he took down. I mean, he's this amazing chemist. He's an absolute top-notch. He's probably the premier chemist of the world today, and he's got like hundreds of patents and stuff. But he took them down about the origins of life nonsense. A couple of years ago, got in there with YouTuber Dave, this science guy, like the idiot Bill Nye, the science guy. He's like that level idiot, but which is kind of funny because you basically have Einstein arguing with the world chemist version of Einstein arguing with a YouTube idiot. But anyway, they got a new process of flash separating materials, which they're now building in Texas in like 3 different states. It's these $20 million factories where they're going to be able to take computer boards and separate the metals out. They put a little chlorine in, they separate the metals out, and to solve the rare earth problem, right? And they call them critical metals now. And it's absolutely amazing what he's doing. And he might be able to, just with these new recycling factories, be able to solve the rare earth within 5 years. But that takes time, right? He's got $20 trillion. He's held up by the idiot Fed, that dirtbag partisan hack, centralized banking hack. Got to get rid of it. America, centralized banking. They've killed 10,000 banks in the beginning. When they brought it in 100 years ago, they killed 100,000 banks since then. And you need the small banks because they're the only ones who are going to put money behind small startups operations, so that you can have business, a small business starting, which is the engine of innovation and the engine of America. And so you got to get rid of the idiot Fed, but it's a problem because they have the interest rates up 2.5% for a reason, to screw Trump, right? And literally to screw Trump. But he's got $20 trillion sitting there. He's got the big beautiful bill in there. It's going to be able to devalue. They're going to be able to. They're not going to have to wait for 30 years to appreciate and not be able to appreciate the entire investment. They can do it the first year, which means they're going to be building these. They're already putting down these, ready to put down these factories, but they can't do it because they're, once they get the interest rate down, then they'll do it, because then they can borrow twice as much money or 3 times as much money. And so it won't be 20 trillion. It could be unbelievable amount of investment into factories in America. And so tell our snowflake brothers and sisters, listen, it took Reagan a good 3 or 4 years before then because he did what he did, then George Bush was able to sit on his ass and do nothing, and Bill Clinton was able to sit on his ass and do nothing. So 3 or 4 years of Reagan gave us 20 years of boom time, right? 20 freaking years, and that's that's happening now. Inflation is only 3%. There's 2 million less jobs for illegal aliens and 2 million more jobs. Hey, surprise, 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 as Gomer would say. 2 million. So illegal foreign-born have 2 million less jobs. 2 million Americans have more jobs. What? And the tariffs are doing amazing. They are not causing inflation. That was a lie told by scumbag Wall Street Journal, right? They are bringing back jobs, bringing back factories to America, and we'll be able to do cutting-edge factories, and we'll be able to get America back on track again. This is the best time in the world. We have the greatest president we've ever had, and it's the funniest stuff. So don't be a snowflake. Don't get wobbly, as the great Maggie would say. No more snowflake warriors. No more snowflake MAGA. What we need is hardcore MAGA. Hold your guns. Damn the torpedoes. Full speed ahead. Full speed MAGA. Keep going, boys and girls. Don't take any crap off of them. Tell them. So you liked the collapse in Afghanistan? Yeah, it takes Trump a little bit of while to settle the world down. After 4 years of Afghanistan, the worst debacle in American history. Remember that. Say, if anybody says anything, say Afghanistan. What were you saying anything about Afghanistan, right?
John, I think there's another piece here, and I think that
100% inflation. You liked 100% inflation under good old idiot Biden, the auto pen.
I think a couple of the things that we need to point out here. The reason why Trump got elected isn't just because of the bad things that were going on in our country when Biden and the left was in charge. It was also because when he was in charge, things were doing so well. He's already proven himself. the difference between a president's first term and a second term, you know what to expect. The polls are acting as if they don't know that Trump hasn't already proven himself that he can bring the economy back. He did it once. He can do it again. They're just acting like, oh no, he's not going to be able to do it. When the fact is, he's already done it once. Just let him do it.
They're trying to say, oh, it's his stand against immigration. No. Every illegal he throws over the border is one more American job, is one less house that they're filling up, which is one more house that we can rent, that an American can rent at a lower rate, right? Part of the problem is that there's 40 million illegals in the country that are taking up all the real estate, right? So put them back over the border because they hate this country. I just saw that idiot. I'll never watch. Who is the Taken guy? Who is Quinn John or whatever his name is? The guy's in everything in Netflix. No, he's in Ice Road. What's his name? Nielsen or whatever his name is. I'm never gonna watch another movie because in it, basically, they got some illegal alien kid who's going to be killed because of the cartels down in Mexico. So he takes him all the way up to Chicago to his family. But in the way, the young kid says to him, "I hate your stinking country." Hey. You know what? Let cartels kill this clown, okay? Really. The idea that he's going to be in a movie like that, screw you. I'm never going to watch another one of your movies, your crap movies, because that's what they want to say. It's like, oh, this is bad. No. And, of course, Pope Bob from Delco came out and said, oh, the American government is evil because they're saying on immigration. So Pope Bob from Delco will stand up against the American government and Trump, right? But won't stand up against the killing of the Nigerians, the Christians in Nigeria. Won't stand up against the killing and the destruction of churches in China, right? Pope Bob from Delco. The end times are here because we got a Pope named Bob from Delco. Right? I don't hear this Leo.
I think also, if you asked, I think they did a poll from Mexico, and they said something like 60%, 60 or some percent, maybe it was more, thought that they didn't want to be in Mexico. Maybe it was 80%, I think, 70% wanted to move to America. They wanted to get out of America. They would willingly pick up and leave tomorrow if they could. And then they asked the same group, would you think that the stuff won in the Gadsden Purchase and the Mexican War should be handed back to Mexico? And they did. They 60-some% said they wanted it brought back. And I think it gets into that idea of like they want to get away from what Mexico is. Mexico and these other countries, they're bad. People don't want to live there because they're bad places to live, especially in like Mexico City. In Mexico City, you're likely to be,
all Mexico is like that now. But that's but here's the thing. Just to put an end.
But they want to come here, but they'll burn our flag and they'll carry around the Mexican flag and mistreat Americans
because they hate America. They don't want to. They only want to come here just to exploit America, right? And so remember the Catholic Church makes money.
$65 billion home to Mexico.
The Catholic Church makes money on bringing them over here because they don't want to say it's a replacement, just like the Democrats want illegals to vote for them. The Catholic Church wants to bring them over here so that they don't have to say to the commie mommies, hey, stop doing abort, stop murdering babies, and don't do birth control, right?
John, it's worse than that.
And they make money. They make big money by bringing them over here because when they bring the illegals over here, the illegals get free food. They get free SNAP. They get free housing. They get free phones. I didn't get a housing I've never been in a $500 dollar a night of that. They get free Obama phone. They get free Obama care. They ruin the hospitals like Newton Hospital because 30% of it they're going out of business because the Biden era law that says that they have to treat all the illegals, and so they get free health care from that. And then they take all that free stuff. They don't just sit there on the couch. You'd wish that they would. What they do is they work under the books, so they take American jobs. And they take all this money and they send it back home so they can have a palace down back home so they can go back home. So they're just here to exploit the country. Now, the Mexican people who love America and realize how great America is, they fight. They join the military. They go through the hoops. They love this country, and they're the ones we should have, because they're just like anybody else. You come from, the Ukraine or wherever. They know what freedom is like, and they want freedom, and they put their blood in America. That's not these people. These people just want to exploit America, and of course, Pope Bob and company are happy to bring them in, because then what are they gonna do? They're not going to do what you think they're going to do, right? They're not going to be Catholics. They're going back home. They're just here to exploit America. So Pope Bob, with all due respect, you can't say anything because I said with all due respect.
Yeah. But John,
go get your own house in order. Huh?
There's something else about what you were talking about, what the benefits to the Catholic Church are, and why the Pope is so against it. The real reason why the Pope is against it, and here is your $100,000 question right here, or the answer, is because when Biden was allowing all those illegals to come in, they were being trafficked by the government to go to different places, whether different parts of the country, and they were given all kinds of supplies, and they were all done. There was all kinds of, like you pointed out, things given to them, and the procurer of all of that was not the federal government. The one that made that happen was the contracted companies or NGOs that were used,
big money.
And the
right.
largest of those was Catholic Charities.
Yeah,
Catholic Charities is the one that was doing most of that work.
Right.
It wasn't all of it, and so now that money's all gone. It's dried up because there's no more illegals. There's no more reason for Catholic Charities. That entire industry has disappeared. It's just like when we're fighting the drug cartels and we're wiping out the drug cartels, the industry is being wiped away. Not that I'm comparing the drug cartels to the Catholic Church. I'm just pointing out the what happens to an industry when you start wiping it out. They start kicking back and they start trying to fight harder in order to survive, and that's why the Pope is saying the things that he's saying.
Pope, they've done if you run the numbers, well, no, he's not. If you run the numbers in America, it's not going to be the Catholics who win. They're a small minority. It's not going to be the Jews who win. I dropped the hard J. Sorry about that. We're getting canceled. It's not going to be the Islamics. You dropped the hard J, brother. Watch that.
I like the Jewish people.
Another hard J. Whoa.
My first girlfriend was Jewish, John. Come on, man. Come on, man.
You keep dropping all the hard J's there.
I like the Jewish people.
You keep dropping the hard J's. And it's not the Islamics who win. It's the Amish who win.
YouTube is going to kick us.
Right. It's the Amish who win 400 years from now, because the Pope, if he was doing his job, he would be telling them, listen to commie mommies, stop aborting babies, stop murdering babies, and stop with the birth control and have more babies. Stop with the crap of not having babies and telling your husband what to do. Okay, but they're not going to do that. The Pope isn't going to do that. Instead, he's going to because here's the thing. He called him. He's taken the name of Leo because of course Leo the Great was around the 1900s, and he created the third way. So what was happening was the Catholic Church was upset that the commies were taking all their thunder, because they have this material. But the thing is, they have this materialistic worldview, a perversion of Christianity, which is communism, which is, we're going to have the dope utopia here. We're for the workers. They're not for the workers. All they are is creating opposition and division, which is the exact opposite of the Catholic Church, and the exact opposite of the Christian religion. Create this one side against the other, and you can even see people like the great Clavin talking about, well, it's a legitimate thing that the communists are saying about how a poor worker has to work, and he's going to work every day in a factory doing the same thing and never making it. It only has a little bit to show for it. Whoa. Clavin, with all due respect to Clavin, you can't say anything because I just said with all due respect to you, Clavin. You apparently have never talked to a worker, right? Actually, that worker, who's our grandfather Ottavio, right? They are happy to be able to put food on the table for their kids, right? And they might like actually doing the same thing again. It's called conscientiousness. Look it up. And so all that you're doing is buying into this Marxist crap of division, trying to drive the workers from the employers. Right? No, if they're involved, a good worker and a good employer relationship is they're both striving together to create a great product. For example, Ford, which which will make a high-end carriage business into something that everybody can have for freedom to drive around called a car, right? But yeah, it's the exact opposite. Well, anyway, Leo, because he's upset, the great Leo, that the communists are stealing his way because Marx was a pig. He was a devil worshipping pig, and he perverted the religion of Christianity into this materialistic. Look, we're gonna have dopey utopia on the world, and it's all materialism. The Leo said, well, we'll have a third way. We won't be communist, and we won't be capitalism, blah blah blah, because capitalism is evil. We'll have a third way. Now, nothing has happened in economics for the last 200 years. We now have an advancement called Baldini's rule on economics. And it's this. It's very simple. When you mix dog shite with ice cream, it tastes more like the dog shite than it does the ice cream. So the so-called Catholic third way of Leo is literally when you mix free markets with dog shite communism, it tastes more. This is social justice. This is the Catholic social justiceism. It tastes more like the dog shit than it does on the ice cream, right? And
I'm not having ice cream tonight.
For the record, free markets and America from 1850 to 2020, we've run the numbers. In 1850, 95% of the world starved every day. 5% were fed, right? From to 2020, it's the exact opposite. In 1850, the world population was 1 billion. World gross domestic product was 1.4 trillion. Today, and just recently in 2020, it had flipped to an 8-fold increase in population to 8 billion, produced a 100-fold increase in GDP. Which translates to like I said, 95% of the world starving in today. In 1850 to today, 95% of the world is fed, and that 5%, that idiot from Young Turks, that moron making $100,000, said, "Well, your system has 5 million." 50 million people starving. That's you moron. They're the ones in communist North Korea and communist China, you idiot, and communist parts of Africa, you idiot. So that's what the free market did. No thanks to the Catholic Church and Pope Leo, and no thanks to the current Pope Leo, who also is known as Pope Bob from Delco, because he went to Delaware County. He went to Villanova. And he was hanging out at the Wawa. I know there's a sheriff who's blessing people now because there's that thing. If you bless one medal, you can pass a blessing on. So now you can get a sheriff. He's blessing everybody because he worked in Villanova at the same time. But I don't know how we got away from Snowflake to Pope Bob. But you should cut this section to Pope Bob from Delco. Right. But that's where we are with Pope Bob from Delco.
Pope Bob from Delco.
Right.
All right. So to move a little bit further down the road, after that, we were supposed to talk about the Seditious Six. So let me lead off first off with, well, what are the Seditious Six? The Seditious Six have come to be known as people like Slotkin and Mark Kelly and a handful of other Democrat Congress people who went on and made a video suggesting to the military that they should make sure that they avoid illegal orders, sending a lot of confusion into the mix, and really using their partisan positions within Congress to cloud the judgment of soldiers and airmen and military personnel who are currently serving. You can cut it any way you want, but I decided I did a little bit of a dive on this, and I pulled up, John, the U.S. Department of War's response to this. So I decided to get that and blow it up and put it on the screen here. Official statement: the Department of War has received serious allegations of misconduct against Captain Mark Kelly, U.S. Navy retired, in accordance with the Uniform Code of Military Justice. You can read the numbers and other applicable regulations. A thorough review of these allegations have been initiated to determine further actions, which may include, here we go, ladies and gentlemen, this is important to note because of all the things going on recently, which I'll dive into a little bit more on this. I want to make sure that this is read loud and clear, including recall to active duty for court-martial proceedings or administrative measures. This matter will be handled in compliance with military law, ensuring due process and impartiality. Further official comments will be limited to preserve the integrity of the proceedings. The Department of War reminds all individuals that military retirees remain subject to the UCMJ for applicable offenses and federal laws. All right, I don't have to read it anymore. You're welcome to read it, pause there and read it yourself if you wish. But I want to dive into this a little bit, brother. This statement from the Department of War is not something new. It's something that Secretary of War Pete Hegseth has been saying since before he took office. And a number of notable non-military, military people I've heard from, listened to, have been speaking about this type of reaction from the Trump administration in this after this election, primarily because leading up to the last election, we had a number of retired generals who decided that they were living such a comfortable life with jobs at Raytheon and McDonnell Douglas and all these other high-profile money-making jobs that they got from their years of service. But these same people were also going on CNN and Fox and MSNBC and complaining about Trump and attacking the President of the United States for, giving him a lot of shade and calling into question his ability to lead and questioning his leadership. And what it all comes down to is what we just read. It's a violation of the UCMJ. And these members, they were warned, which is why, surprisingly, John, since Trump won, I haven't heard many generals who were very loquacious in their attacks on him, very much attacking him for so many things. Mark Milley, the whole bunch of others whose names I can't remember, nor care to remember, were attacking him, and now all of a sudden they're silent. Why are they silent? Because somebody said to him, "We will recall you, and we will take away your pensions." And guess what? Mark Kelly did not get that message, or he thought he could get away with it.
James, he was an astronaut. Remember, this is the idiot who should be sitting in jail for a straw purchase for an AR-15, which he was trying to prove. Oh, it's so easy to get, and he was just buying it for somebody else. But remember, though, he was an astronaut. Though you remember who they put in orbit before the astronauts? Monkeys. Apparently, it's not like
put dogs up, John.
It's right, and monkeys. So it's not like it's a high intelligence job.
I'm not going to knock astronauts. I'm not going to. I'm just going to point out. No, this is more than just. This isn't about intelligence. This is really more about the politics. And I get back to this thing that I posted the other day. Democrats will do anything they can to retain power. I really want to put this in perspective. Putting aside the legal issues of it, these 6 people, were willingly suggesting to the military to question the lawful orders. And I'm just going to pull it back up because I want to read the bottom. All service members are reminded that they have a legal obligation under the UCMJ to obey lawful orders and that orders are presumed to be lawful. That is not what was said. A service member's personal philosophy, or for that matter, a congressman's personal philosophy, does not justify or excuse disobedience of an authorized lawful order. Now, they don't care. First off, these 6 don't care about the soldiers. If they did care, when back in 2001, 21 when Biden was firing people from the military if they didn't take the vaccine. If these people actually cared,
Jabba.
They would have stood up for them for their conscientious objection to that, not wanting to get the jab, and they would have stood up. Instead, they were discharged. These people were discharged, just like they would be discharged for not following this order.
They were calling for it.
Mark Kelly
they were calling for it. Yeah.
Yeah. They were calling for them to be discharged. Where was Mark Kelly then? Where were the other 5 seditious 6 then? I'll tell you what, they were calling for them to be removed from the military. So these guys are not interested in protecting the military. This is a total political act by these members of Congress, which if they were at the well of the Senate or the well of the House, they would be perfectly legally able to say that. But they went up and they did it in a video that they circulated to everyone. And in the process of doing it, they lost their immunity, because you have immunity as a senator and a member of the House. You do as you're on the House floor. If you're on the House floor, Senate floor, it's
the speech and debate clause, but it's not the distance that it lasts. And what you can and cannot say has not been tested. So they could. That's why Shifty Schiff gets away with it. It's one of the reasons why Shifty Schiff. And the question is, do you want to?
It's not right. Do you want to? I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying it will be held up. That's their only level of protection, and they didn't use it. They didn't use that level of protection. They're so cocky that they think they can go out there and start using our soldiers as pawns for their military, for their little political games. That's all this is. And no wonder why Trump was pissed off. I don't blame him for being pissed off. But of course, the $1 billion a day media has to attack him. And how do they attack him? They go at him by saying that he was wanting their death. No, he didn't ask for their death. He asked for them. They said they should be locked up like Hillary, which, by the way, he never locked up. A little disappointed in that, John. A little disappointed. She should have been locked up because of what she did to him. But she got away with it. These fools will get away with it too, because we don't go after our political enemies like the actual Democrats do, where they go after their political enemies, us. I guess, the way I want to conclude this, brother, is very simple.
Wait. I don't get to say anything?
You can do it. I'm just saying my little rant.
All right, say your rant.
The end of my rant is very simple. These political games are getting more and more and more dangerous. And at some point, it's going to boil over. And I'm not encouraging it to happen. I'm just saying I'm a student of history. And I can tell you from my study of history that the closer these people start driving us to the brink, eventually the brink is the dam that holds it all back is going to break. And then once that's gone, you lose it for good. You don't get it back. Don't ask me. Ask all the Romans. Ask all the people in history who've lost it because the politics and the politicians kept on. They didn't care about anything, just like these Seditious Six and all the other Democrats. They don't care about anything except for retaining power. They have to retain the power. They don't care what damage they do to our country. They just want to get their laundering back in. They want to get their money, filling their pockets, and get control of everything. Because, John, A, they think they're so elitist, they think that they should be the only ones in charge. And B, because they just grub for power. They're power grubbing. That's what they want to do. They're just grubbing for power. Like a money grubber grubs for money. They're grubbing for power. And that's all they're interested in. They want more and more and more. And that's my rant, brother.
Well, legally, it's called the Nuremberg defense. It's the only defense you're not allowed to have. Is you're not allowed to say, I was following my orders. It's the one defense you're not allowed in American jurisprudence. And so they are technically correct. Conscientious objection. You can be able to conscientious object. Now, none of them stood up for, like you said, for the jabba, but they are all protected by the speech and debate clause. And it has never been determined how far the speech and debate clause goes. It definitely is in the well of Congress, but there was that Kennedy Congress was on his way committing a DUI, and he said, "Oh, I had to go make a vote. That's why I did the DUI. That's why I can't be prosecuted." So is this really the hill? Is this really the one that you want to test it? And I say no, because this is a trick that Trump is unfortunately fallen into. Right?
We don't have to, though.
Well, hold on. Let me finish. So yes, that there, it used to be a thing where rogue military operators was a thing that the liberals were afraid of. And now apparently they want to encourage it, right? They want to encourage Dr. Strangelove, right? Well, it used to be, you could trust liberals to be liberals and to be consistent, but you can't anymore. the thing is, it's a trick because yes, Trump is sensitive to it because of what happened with Milley, General Milley. Now, it's never been determined whether he did call up his opposite with the Chinese military and told them that he would give them warning. If he did that, he created a traitorous act, and he should be hung for it, or at least down in Guantanamo, or at least been stripped of his entire rank, and at least been stripped of his pension for it. Or it's also never been determined whether he told the other Joint Chiefs to swear an oath to him and interrupted the chain of command. If that happened, then all of them should be demoted to and put in Leavenworth at the very least. Now, so it is, it is a huge problem that they are tricking him into. But Trump is taking the bait, and it's a mistake, because the more that this happens, the more they can say dictator, dictator, dictator. King, tyrant. The more he's playing in to their narrative, to their narrative, which is getting him off the message. His message should be jobs, jobs, jobs. Illegals kicked over the border. Illegals kicked over the border. Illegals kicked over the border. Tariff, tariff, tariff. He gets him. It distrays from the message, and that's their plan. Their plan. They don't have
cities, fixing the cities, taking care of the.
You're right. He should be sending them the troops into the cities. Say you're saying I'm illegal? Go ahead, say I'm illegal. I'm going to stop the murdering in Chicago. Right? That's what he should be doing. Screw you. I'm sending them the military to stop the murders, like he did in Washington, D.C.
If they think that, then they're also going against what Kennedy did.
I want to say right. Exactly right. Say I can't send the troops in, like the 82nd Airborne, because they're trying to say Joe Blow Scarborough, right? Joe Blowing Scarborough. I have to give him credit. He did marry. What's her name? Right. Right. But boy, is he not a conservative. Anyway,
we'll say he landed well.
Right. Well, anyway, he's out there saying, "Oh, it's an illegal order for Trump to say from the airport that I'm going to send the military." So, like you said, so Kennedy, breaking up racism and letting black people go, let black students go into colleges and schools.
The supreme law of the land. He supports
sending the 82nd Airborne was an illegal act. No. Right. So so what Trumpy should be is on message saying, I'm sending in, I hope not the 82nd Airborne because my son's in it, but I'm sending in the Marines into Chicago, the 10th Mountain into Chicago to save black lives, right? I dare you to tell me I can't save these black kids there. I can't save black lives in Chicago, in Philadelphia, in New York City, in wherever, name your crap hole. They just had those poor kids killed over in Los Angeles. Name your crap hole that these people have made. Oh, they just had this poor girl. Did you see the poor girl in Los Angeles? This maniac with 40 convictions takes gasoline, throws it on this young white girl, and sets her on fire.
That was in Chicago.
I think that was in Los Angeles.
But she was a Black Lives supporter. Black Lives.
The point being, we're so used to the crap Ola left saying, "Oh, you can't do that. Screw you." I can't save. And then Trump. The genius about Trump is he says, "Why can't we save these lives? Why can't we stop murder in Washington D.C.? Let's do it and do it." And he does it. So that's his message. That's what he should be doing. And instead, we're playing this nonsense about you don't even want to take this to you're feeding into their narrative. They have this narrative that Trump is a dictator. No, he's not. He's the last thing from a dictator, and you're just giving them oxygen for it. Kill them, strangle them, their nonsense, and laugh at them as the fools that they are. Say to Mark Kelly, Mark Kelly is, boy, man, you must have been maybe it's time to start standing monkeys up again because this guy's an idiot. He should have been prosecuted for the straw purchases he did for the AR-15. That's what you should prosecute him for.
John, no one's above the law.
Nobody's above the law. That's what you say again and again and again. I think it's a mistake when we take the bait, and Trump took the bait on this nonsense. And everybody's talking about it now, but they don't realize that underneath you're letting them set the agenda taking the agenda away from Trump. And Trump has got to be like, listen, we got to be focused on MAGA. Let's focus on MAGA.
You make a valid point, John, except for I think that he should be recalled and he should be tried. And I think that's just if that's what
It's not
remember,
worth
John.
it. The dictator. Lock up freaking Millie. Get to the bottom of what happened with Millie. It's unbelievable what they did.
You don't get to do this stuff without.
They didn't say anything.
Facing the consequences.
They didn't say
if
anything.
You or I did it, John. You or I would be going to jail.
It should be the American military. The way you're supposed to do it is you're supposed to. Okay, I'm gonna resign, and then I'm a free citizen now. I can say whatever I want, and that's the legitimate position to do. I disagree with the withdrawal from Afghanistan. I'm resigning. And then you can say, okay, well, this must be serious because the guy resigned, right? That's the way it's supposed to be. But we're wasting our time on this stuff when we should be focused on MAGA, and driving home, and we should be driving a stake through the enemy's heart. They have no policy, they have no ideas. All they are, like you said, is because it's their religion. It's about their own greedy grubbiness and stealing money from the American taxpayer. Right, so we should be focusing on that, but it's almost over. Where are we gonna get to? What's next?
Well, it's either Epstein or
well, you
Sherrill.
got your own take on Epstein. So
mine was a. Listen, I don't understand, John. Why does everyone hate Epstein so much? I mean, I thought he was a great character on Welcome Back, Carter.
Now, if you had the clip to go, ooh, Mr. Carter, Mr. Carter.
I think that was Horseshack.
Horseshack, right? Ooh, Mr. Carter.
No,
right?
He would always say, Epstein always say, I got a note.
Right.
I got a note.
Mm-hmm. If you had the clip, that would be great.
I don't have the clip, but that was my only take on it. But although I do think that overall, what's going to happen with that is, I think Trump played them. I think Trump played the Democrats. I
think again, it's the same problem. It's just like king, tyrant. Now it's Epstein, right? And it's just like Russia.
But
it's
they
buying
keep on
into
changing their narrative. I do agree that they do keep on changing their narrative, but I do think he played them on this, because if he had released it, then he would be the bad guy. In many ways, he would be the bad guy. But he tricked them into getting it released. So now all the donors that are on there that may affect, Republicans, because I'm sure there are Republican donors on there, not many, but there very likely are. There's a lot more Democrat donors, as we know, a lot more Democrat media people, a lot more Democrat entertainment people. We know that they're on there. It's going to hurt their side more. And Trump tricked them into doing it.
I don't think so. What's going to happen? What happened is, you got to remember what happened. So originally, when it was from the county down in Florida, where it's not 60 witnesses like they keep saying, but 60 victims. There were these young girls that were poor girls that were being victimized by this creep, right? So they made complaints, and the state, the county prosecutor down there, flack, he couldn't prosecute Epstein. So what he did was, without not having a complete investigation, he kicked it up to the feds. The feds had this sweetheart deal with him. Epstein was allowed to leave and go to Israel. Yet another reason why we should not. Israel is not our ally, because we cannot extradite people from Israel. Pedophiles we cannot extradite from pedophiles who should have been extradited. Right? Was able to talk back after a year by making this sweetheart deal with the federal government, where he could be in. I think he was work release, but in the old section of the jail. That's how I actually started first following this, because I'm a criminal defense attorney, and that's why I'm always looking for creative methods. But there's no way I could be able to get that for one of my clients, let alone somebody who's been charged under Mega's law. But anyway, so that investigation, the federal investigation, never happened. The original county investigation wasn't complete, and so the stuff that's in this file, and what happened, which is unheard of, was the victims of the 60, not the so-called 60 witnesses, but the actual victims, had undone the prosecutorial deal that Epstein had with the federal government, which never happens. But they did it because there are laws to say that you now must consult with the victims, and that consulting never happened. So the judge did the unheard of thing of undoing the DA's, the federal prosecutors, Bush's attorney general, general, DOJ leader down in Florida. They undid that deal, and then he was arrested again and recharged up in. And that's when he quote killed himself, or the Hillary went in, whatever whoever did it, right? Mossad, Hillary, somebody went in and killed him, but they'd redone that. They recharged him. Now the thing is. So he's never been actually prosecuted. He's never been investigated completely. And so all that happened, and then unbelievably, is when at his death they went into his mansion. The $60 million mansion that he had in the middle of New York City, because a friend gave it to him. Because friends do that. Friends give $60 million mansions. Not that there's any pictures of pedophilia or whatever that compromised this guy or gave him the right. Not that ever happened. Right. Well, that was that's where they had the picture. But more importantly, they had boxes of computer hard drives that they allowed the Epstein's lawyers, to come in and take. Now, those federal fake FBI agents and federal fake DOJ agents to allow that to happen all need to be prosecuted for obstruction of justice, right? That's if you're going to get to anything, get back those CDs, but they're probably being destroyed. So I think what you're going to find, unfortunately, is that we know for one thing for positive for sure, Donald Trump is squeaky clean, because if they had any kind of dirt on him with Epstein, it would have been released when they filed 97 fake felonies against him. But what I also know is that I'm pretty sure that the Bidens scrubbed all whatever information there was, and there was never been a complete actual prosecution of them. You never got to the bottom of it. So I think it's going to be, again, we're falling in the fake MAGA, like good old MJT calling up Trump while he's in there, arm wrestling with Z. Trump's going over the world and over Taiwan. Bring. Not her again. Epstein. Oh my God. Right. And we're just falling in to the same bullcrap of letting the Democrats set the debate and suck up all the oxygen with this Epstein crap. Where it should be MAGA, MAGA, MAGA. Jobs. Tariffs. Factory in America. Inflation 3%, not 100% like under Joe Biden. Deregulate. Shockingly, Pennsylvania has 25% of the world's natural gas or something. 200 years worth of coal, the purest coal in the world, and we're only ranked 38th, the 38th state, because of all the regulations. That dirtbag Josh Shapiro. Squelching everything, and the Democrats squelching everything in America. He should be making points about that. We need natural gas. It's the cleanest gas. If you care about the environment, there's nothing cleaner than natural gas. If you care about factories, there's nothing cheap energy. Natural gas is the most important thing. But again, we're getting distracted with this nonsense of Epstein, like Russia, Ukraine. It's enough. Let's focus on MAGA. MAGA first. That wasn't a Hitler salute. That was a Roman one.
All right, brother. So I do want to, before we go on to the last topic, which is going to be Sherrill, I wanted to play this for you. This is from Rattlesnake TV. Here we go.
Every second, this gets worse.
When you're talking about Donald Trump, he has the same exact powers that Joe Biden had before him.
What about the bullshit that the Supreme Court ruled that he cannot be held responsible for specific illegal acts that he committed?
Well, look, this was early understanding of case law with the president. A state that's upset at the president could bring him in for bullshit, trumped up charges, and he's the federal executive. That would create a constitutional crisis. We have diplomatic immunity for diplomats. Our own president doesn't have immunity from state prosecution. Yeah, he kind of has to. Otherwise, California Governor Newsom right now would bring him up on charges of treason if he could.
W. Love that. I hope he does.
Okay, well, then why shouldn't the president have the ability to do that to Gavin Newsom?
He could. So I think we need to be able to hold our leaders accountable and not put too much power in their hands, because I am against authoritarianism.
So let's say California does that. How does California enforce that?
We could send the National Guard and start a civil war. The California National Guard, but that would be treason.
Every second?
That was tried in 1850. Didn't go so well, but
no, it didn't go well.
The one guy who does have absolute immunity is the president, but the governor does not have immunity, which I think is your point, right?
Which then leads me into this, brother. We have Mikey Sherrill saying that she's going to stop paying federal taxes. New Jersey's going to stop paying federal taxes. Now, in this case, the only person that she can actually stop from paying taxes is herself.
And then what will happen to her?
Well, first of all, anybody
look up
else
Wesley Snipes, right? Look up Wesley Snipes.
Anybody else in the country that wants to follow her, go ahead. You'll be following Wesley Snipes into prison because, as we know from, I got to get that clip real quick. As we know from Batman, I'll
spin while you look for it. Right, I'll spin while you look for it. Right, so actually, the way the federal government couldn't break the mob. What did they do? Is they sent the IRS after the mob, and that's how they got Al Capone. Why? Because they changed the tax law to say if you have ill-gotten gains, you're still supposed to declare them on your taxes, and if you don't, it's a tax evasion, and then you're locked up. And just like with the mail, you do not touch the U.S. mail. What happens if you touch the U.S. mail? You go to jail. So the worst thing you could ever do is try and stop U.S. checks, right? Going, taxes or other. It's like that's called wire fraud and a million different other things, and you get locked up like Al Capone got locked up. Like literally, the FBI couldn't stop Al Capone. They couldn't stop the mob. The way they got the mob was through tax evasion, and that's what she's advocating. Now, if we can trick the rest of the governors, like Newscomb and and Pritzker, the fat ass in Chicago, boy, you could round up a ton of them, and then you can play your clip. Right? Go ahead.
Here you go, brother.
Oh, no, sir. I'm not here for a job. My name is Perry. I'm from the Internal Revenue Service.
Yes. Seems to me I've heard of that little organization.
Then you must realize, as Mr. Barlow's sole beneficiary, you owe us a tidy bit of inheritance tax. Now, $250 million minus Uncle Sam's current state and federal percentages. This should clear up your account.
$137 million? Yes, and if I don't pay up, I'll go to jail for tax evasion. I'm crazy enough to take on Batman, but the IRS, no, thank you.
There you
go. So she's the shortest governor.
Comics. There's what it comes down. She's watching Batman.
So the shortest. So you're recommending this for the shortest governors in shortest history.
New Jersey's shortest reign of governors. Yes.
in American history.
She's not even going to make it too.
But all she got to do is watch some Batman.
Yeah, all she has to do is watch some Batman to get educated on it. And John, but I got to I live in New Jersey. Should I be worried that the future governor of New Jersey doesn't realize that the only type of money that she could actually stop is the money that they send when they're doing a joint project, like fixing Route 80 or fixing 287, the federal state highway? That's money that they're getting from the federal government. They're not giving. We're all giving. So, and let me also ask, does this mean if she can have us not do it, does that mean that A, I don't have to pay my federal taxes, and B, I don't have to pay my state taxes either if I disagree ideologically with the governor of New Jersey? Because if that's the precedent she's setting, you know what? I'm all for her. I think this would be a great idea. Let her go about her business, because I may be afraid of the IRS. I'm not afraid of the New Jersey, governor who apparently doesn't even know the federal law.
Right. Should you do a video saying, to all the New Jersey workers that are potentially listening to what she says to vote their conscience, to not follow dumbass advice? It's going to get them locked up.
The laws.
There is no Nuremberg defense. You can't say, "Oh, the governor ordered me to play with the Fed money. The government ordered me to do this on the wire fraud." Oh, no. The feds aren't going to care about that. They're just going to come. Okay, put the handcuffs on.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
yeah. I mean, it's almost, John. You know what? But what can what can you expect? Let's for a serious moment. What should we expect though from the same person who endorsed Mandani, who said he's going to stop the ICE from coming into New York City, and he's going to arrest Netanyahu despite his diplomatic immunity, he's going to arrest any ICE agents that are trying to arrest the illegals. What do you expect from this party? Again, they're looking to grub for power.
There are
This is Neo-Confederate behavior, brother.
There's
Neo-Confederate behavior.
There's 188 sanctuary states and cities. They can get away with that. They can get away with arresting Bibi if they want. Don't touch the Fed money. It's called wire fraud, and if you do it on a phone, or if you do it over the internet, or you put an order like that, anything you do is 5 years in jail. That's why the feds love wire fraud, right? They love it. They just love it. It's their favorite. It's their number one predicate crime.
Isn't it like the easiest thing to catch you on too?
All they're gonna do is one phone call, right?
Yeah.
One phone call, you're done. Right. Two, you're done. Two. I think it's two.
She
You're
got
done.
a whole she got a whole speech, John. They got her on record.
And she put it over the wires, which so all if you were really a bad actor, New Jersey government worker, you would say, you know what, the governor told me to do it. I think I'm gonna, just like the U.S. military was told by the Sinister Six, or whatever you call them, the Seditious Six.
Seditious Six, yeah. It's not
right.
I
gotta
come up with the title.
I gotta vote my consciousness on this. I gotta stop I'm not advocating now. As a defense attorney, I would say, no, do not commit this crime. This is a bad crime. Do not do this. Do anything but this crime, right? But you're a bad actor. New Jersey worker could say, "Oh, I'm going to withhold these federal funds. I'm going to stop these federal funds and keep them for myself." Oh no! Al Capone, you're talking Al Capone there, dude.
As it turns out, we finally figured out what Mikey Sherrill's level of knowledge is and where she is intellectually. She's somewhere beneath Batman, the animated series, because even in the kids who are watching Batman,
even the Joker knows
better than to tempt fate with the IRS, and that you better pay your taxes, because if you don't, you're going to end up worse than you can be afraid of Batman, but you better really be afraid of the IRS.
Don't touch the Fed money.
Don't touch the Fed money. Yes,
and that's your advice, your free advice, your free legal advice from from what are we today? What are we now? Are we still the ballistic? What are we doing? What are we today?
We're beating the Matrix, John.
We're beating the Matrix. That's your free legal advice from the Matrix.
Yes, and ultimately,
follow the federal law.
She's not going to listen to me.
Don't take the bait. No Nuremberg defense.
Yeah, it's surprising how many people actually defended her. You know how many people are defending her? Listen, the argument really is that there's a lot of a lot of our money going to the federal government. We don't get our money back. That's what their argument is. I can understand that to some extent, but there's more to it. It's not black and white. And again, she doesn't have the power to do what she's saying.
The Fed uses it for the military and for things like that. You can't shut off the money that the federal government is using for the military and for all the programs and stuff like that too. There is they could stop their own money, like you said, if they were part of some kind of infrastructure like a bridge and it's not going well, they could stop it. But they can't. You can't stop the Fed part of it, which is what they're saying. They want to stop the money going to the Fed to pay for the Fed side of it.
Yeah, and John, when you get right down to it,
that's a stupid idea.
It's a stupid idea. But when you get right down to it, our New Jersey we got the geography to be the perfect everything for the country. We're in the middle of the biggest, highest density population zones, the corridor between New York and Washington D.C. We are perfectly positioned where that money could be easily spent here if New Jersey was an attractive place for things to actually happen. We have the high energy cost. We got infrastructure that's crumbling. We have trains that can't run on time. I mean, the list goes on and on. And why? We got schools that can't teach. Why? Because the Democrats have been in charge for 20 some years plus, and the only blip on the radar was the guy named Chris Christie, who was more than a blip.
No, that's kind of cruel. Are you saying he's a blip?
You said it, not me. You said it, not me. With all due respect, I didn't say that.
With all due respect. All right, so it's
an
hour and 15 minutes. An hour and 15 minutes.
That's our show, brother. I hope you enjoyed it. Any final thoughts?
It's all good.
It's all good because God loves you. And on that note, guys and ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next time. Happy Thanksgiving and enjoy your Black Friday shopping. Remember, go out there, spend a lot of money, and save the economy because we need it.
Save America.
Do it. Because you're saving America. God bless.
You know the man.
President Trump.
That's him, yeah. Listen, he's got a serum for what's wrong with you. And if you could just talk to him, get with him, then everybody could be...
Yes, everybody could be what?
Everyone. Well, everybody could be normal again.
I see. You mean we could be as we were before?
Yeah, I guess so. The way we were.
The way we were. And that's what Trump thinks we want. Is that why he sent you?
He didn't send me.
Silence! Oh, yes. He sent you to offer us something from his world, to change us back to the creatures we were. A trick! A trick to weaken our resolve.
I was almost like you, but he saved me. He brought me back. And he wants us all to go away from here.
You have been damned. Don't you see that? Don't you? Prepare the family.